What's up, you buttercups? It's your friendly neighborhood BurialBoy coming at you with some fresh Destiny 2 news. Super excited. You guys, this is kind of what we've been waiting for. You just have no idea. Bungie has released some of the new exotics coming in with Beyond Light, and I really could not be more excited. So, I know that some of you may have already seen the trailer. If so, I will leave a card right here, so you can go ahead and skip to a little bit of a breakdown. But if you haven't, we're going to watch it right here, right now, and then we're going to get digging.
Time, Guardian. Crush them. Triple down. Relax, Guardian. You're scaring them.
Okay, so if that doesn't get you guys excited, I'm not sure what will. Even if you were kind of skeptical on Beyond Light, if you didn't know whether you were going to really get it, if you were looking forward to it or not, like, watching that promo alone should get you at least a little bit hype. I'm super stoked. I know it's a promo, so everything looks good, but come on now, this is a lot. This is a lot of exotics being shown, and I'm pretty sure that's not all of them. Okay, so we see a nice mixture here of exotic weapons and armor, and I really do feel like it's just kind of it's scratching the surface. We really got a lot to dig into here. First and foremost, we see the No Time to Explain has made its triumphant return. Beautiful weapon, realistically looks better than ever. It looks like a lot of fun, and it shows it spawns this little orb here that's fighting with you. It's kind of cool. Bungie reads precision hits and hits against enemies affected by stasis will return to the magazine, so you're automatically going to get some of that ammo back. That's going to be incredibly helpful all on its own. But on top of that, stack this effect to summon a portal which will fire bullets from an alternate timeline of the weapon. So essentially, you can even see it here in the trailer here, that even while this Guardian is reloading, this little portal, this little stasis buddy, this little stasis friend you got with you, is firing all on its own. So it's not like you got it firing along with you or along with your shots. It's almost its own separate entity firing at enemies all by itself. And part of me is really curious to know just how much damage this little stasis buddy is going to do. I mean, even if it's doing just minimal or even just a little bit of damage, it's still going to be nice to even in PvP situations. For example, if you're in close quarters or close combat, I'm almost wondering if it'll do enough damage to prevent another Guardian from regenerating their shield. If so, that's going to be ridiculous. It's going to, honestly, it may be a bit of a showstopper in PvP. And next up in the trailer, we got this beautiful exotic sniper that we got a quick little look at the other day called the Cloud Strike Sniper Rifle. I mean, just looking at this thing, it kind of gives me a bit of like a No Land Beyond kind of feel to it. Looks really nice, super clean, really just a really good look for an exotic. Bungie reads, precision final blows will generate lightning bolts at the target location. Rapid precision shots will summon an entire storm at the point of impact. So you can see in the trailer right here that it's a little PvP piece of footage with the Cloud Strike. This person gets a precision shot. They get a headshot on this Guardian. Obviously he's going to take him out immediately. But you see this huge arc strike of lightning come down and take out the other two Guardians with him. Now, we don't know how much damage had been done to those Guardians already, or if they were even at full health. But regardless, dude gets the clap, and it's beautiful. And now when you get the rapid precision shots, you get a lightning storm. I really feel like even in a PvP situation, that's really going to come in handy. Maybe for doing raid DPS, you're doing boss damage, you get your rapid precision shots, you can summon that lightning storm. Now, the next little thing that we see here is the Lament exotic sword. Now, I really thought the Falling Guillotine was probably the coolest, most beautiful looking sword I've seen, and it still is a really awesome looking sword. But this bad boy, this looks like a steampunk nightmare. It is beautiful. The colors on it, the design, everything to do with it, it's just nasty, dude. It looks like it'll saw your face right off. Beautiful. I gotta have it, and I will have it. I'll make sure of it. Bungie reads, a mortal blade, a stalwart shield. Block with a lament to rev up the blade, then shred through shielded enemies. At its peak, damaging an enemy will heal the wielder. Now we can see right here in the trailer that the Guardian is literally slicing through a barrier champion. Now we don't, as of right now, have anything to go through a barrier besides anti-barrier rounds. And I'm kind of curious to know how much you actually have to rev up this thing. If it's going to be a long charge, you're going to block a lot of shots to rev it up in a sense, to charge it through a shield. But regardless, it looks amazing. Now next in our weapon showcase, we've got the Salvation's Grip Grenade Launcher. Now, this is probably one of the nastiest looking grenade launchers I've ever seen. I mean, it just looks gnarly. I'm super stoked to get it. Now you can see in the trailer here, it's got some really interesting gameplay. Bungie goes a little deeper in it, saying, redemption is within your grasp. Each fire projectile will create stasis crystals that will freeze nearby targets. Charge to increase the amount of crystals created and freeze radius. Now you can see in this trailer, it's not just lobbing grenades and freezing enemies. Don't get me wrong, that alone would be cool, but this thing is creating crystals that are uprooting from the ground. And it really kind of makes me wonder just how creative you can get with this. And maybe banking it off of a wall is going to create maybe a stasis platform similar to the grenades we've seen in previous trailers. There's just a lot of ways you can go with it. Next thing we have here is some Titan gauntlets, the Icefall Mantle. Now these might be some of the cooler gauntlets I've seen. I am a Warlock main, but I can't fib, dude. These are looking pretty sick. Official states, stand tall against oncoming hordes with this reinforced armor that replaces the Titan's barricade with an overshield. An overshield, absorbing damage from incoming fire. Okay, barricades, they're barricades. They're very useful in some situations if you know how to utilize them correctly. But realistically, they are just that. They're situational. But turning your barricade into an overshield? That's ridiculous. You're literally going to be running into a fight, popping your overshield instead of a barricade with extra health on top of that. Now, we don't know how much. Is it going to be the equivalent of a barricade? If so, that's overkill. That's going to be ridiculous. But regardless, I mean, you're literally throwing an extra shield over yourself at any given moment. Alright, the next thing we've got here is the Mask of Bakris. I mean, this thing actually looking like Scarecrow from Batman. This thing is dope looking. I can't lie, this might be my favorite looking piece of armor so far I've seen. Bungie reads, don the mask to replace the Hunter's Dodge ability with a long-range shift ability that also temporarily cloaks the wearer during use. I'm worried about this one, guys. I know we don't know anything about this yet. None of us have played with it yet. But just based off this promo here, like, hunters, you guys are going to be poachers, bro. Hunters are already rough. They're already nasty and hard to go against sometimes, especially against someone who knows how to use them. But, dude, oh my god, this is just sick and nasty. Bro, just look at it. This guy completely 100% dodges a burning maul hammer. Just bing, gone. And he's right in the dude's face, taking him out. Alright, coming up next here, we've got the Arthur's Embrace, the Hunter Gauntlets. Now, just from this promo trailer alone, like, this is really going to make me look forward to a bunch of really awesome montages of Ricochet knives. Like, this is going to be pretty sick. But Bungie reads, the Hunter's Winged Knife gains a second Ricochet. Rapid precision hits gain a damage bonus and can temporarily stagger enemies. So this makes me wonder two things about this to see how useful really it's going to be. As for the Ricochet, I'm really hoping that maybe off that second Ricochet, there adds a slight bit of tracking towards it. Otherwise, you're going to have to either be really good or really lucky. It can be fun either way, but I feel like that's the one thing it would really need to make it viable. As far as the staggering, if it'll actually stagger, I mean, if it'll stagger a champion, with this extra weighted knife, or maybe stagger some yellow bars with absolute ease, I could see that actually being pretty useful, especially just for a melee. If you can run up and stagger a high health enemy with a melee, I mean, that's pretty incredible. Now, this next piece I'm actually really curious to play with, and I mean, just from looking at it, it looks really sick. The Warlock Helmet Dawn of Chorus. Bungie reads it as, feel that sweet burn. Warlock's daybreak projectiles deal extra damage and cause enemies to burn on contact. Gain melee energy each time a burn damages a target. As you can see here in this trailer, you straight up Dawnbreaker slams onto this guy and you watch him just fall apart. He literally burns to death. Now that damage over time is actually going to come really in handy, especially more in PvE situations, because I mean you could essentially lay down a bunch of Dawnbreak into someone and just watch that tick damage take over. That tick damage we've all grown to love since we get this Wither Horde. And then here we've got the Necrotic Grip Gauntlets for the Warlock. Now this one's kind of donning that classic exotic gauntlet Warlock look, and just from the trailer it looks real sick, nasty, throwing poison everywhere. Bungie reads, a deadly caress compounded. Melee attacks corrupt enemies with increasing damage over time. Defeating a corrupted combatant spreads the corruption to nearby targets and restores melee energy. So, just going off that alone, obviously we don't know this for a fact until we start playing with it, but if defeating enemies with this will restore the melee energy and spreads the corruption to even more enemies nearby, I mean, it sounds to me like, depending on if you work this right, you could kind of drag this poison out almost, essentially, endlessly. I mean, as long as there's enemies there to kill. And I mean, the fact that we're actually kind of introducing something that's kind of like a toxin, like a toxic poison, into an exotic, like that sounds pretty sick. And then last but most certainly not least, probably one of the even more cooler helmets I've seen. I mean, this thing just looks like cracked porcelain with all these dope ass marks all over it. I mean, it looks nasty. Bungie reads it, prove your strength even when coming back from the brink. Upon revives, the Titan gains an overshield aura that protects the wearer and nearby allies. Now, this can be a game changer in many situations. If you think PvP, things like trials, I mean, when you go to revive a teammate, you're getting that extra aura over yourself and your teammate. Now, we don't know how long it's going to last, but regardless, having that little bit of extra leeway, the extra free time to kind of adjust your situation and your position and maneuver where you got to is going to really come in handy, and it'll really be useful in things like raids and Grandmaster Nightfalls. You get to pick up your buddy and you got to get out, you got to GTFO. I mean, having that extra aura, that extra little shield is really going to be beneficial. And this is all just scratching the surface. I really do think that we're just getting a little taste of the exotics that we're going to get. We haven't gotten to see any of the other mods as well to see how much our mods can go into play with our exotics and their abilities. So, I mean, with this alone just being a little bit of a taste we get, I mean, dude, I'm stoked. I cannot wait. Ladies and gentlemen, you got your hype train, hop on it. It's about time to get them engines running. This is going to be fun. I cannot wait. Starting to get hyped. This is going to be pretty sick. But that about wraps up for today, guys. Don't forget to drop a like down below. It really helps me out. It really helps the channel. Helps YouTube know that you guys are liking it. Helps me know that you guys are liking what I'm putting out. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to, so you can stay up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news and updates. Everything that we get, I'm going to put it out as quick and to the best of my ability that I can. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. And remember, life's a grave. Just dig it.